Hey, what's up guys? Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center again today, and we're going to talk about moist hides, okay? Now, there's all kinds of options that you can do when it comes to moist hides for specific animals like the leopard gecko. And we'll kind of get into why moist hides are important and also talk about the different styles of things that you can use as moist hides, all right? But right here in this corner is our subscriber button. Make sure you hit that, and for those that have, we appreciate you doing so and following along week after week after week. Now let's get started right into this. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is going to be moist hides, okay? There are a lot of options, including the ones like is popping up right here, right now, that you can utilize as moist hides. They are store-bought, preformed objects, okay, and items. Now, some of them may not always necessarily have been created for moist hides, and if you know, a lot of these preformed plastic things, we've talked about it before, they can break very easily, they can crack, they're hollow on the inside, and they do crack and break and chip apart fairly easily. So, do bear that in mind if you decide to go with one of these type of items like you're seeing here. Okay, but let's start right out of the gate. Desert species like leopard geckos, and there are several other ones that do require what's considered a microclimate or a moist area. One, especially like for leopard geckos, is incredibly important because obviously in their shed cycle, anybody that's ever messed with leopard geckos knows that if they're not able to get those sheds off easily, then it can become stuck, dried, and even almost shrink wrap around their appendages, which can cut off circulation to the toes, the legs, things like that. Can create infections in the eyes where the shed doesn't come out. There's many things that can happen when it comes to a lot of your desert species, even your forested and tropical species, if they don't have enough moisture in certain aspects. Now we know desert species does not need a lot of moisture when it comes to the grand scope of their ecosystem because again it's a desert, so it's dry. However, they do need what's considered microclimates that will give them a moist area to go to in the event of overheating or slight dehydration, or especially in the case of shed cycle. Now conventionally a lot of people will take things like an old Sterilite cup, whether like this size for a baby in a baby pen or a bigger one, and they'll take and just cut a little doggy door out of it, put the lid on it, poke a couple of holes in there, and then what they'll do is they'll take and put sphagnum moss, peat moss, bedding that can handle more moisture, stuff from a bioactive ecosystem, and they'll keep this moist all the time. Keep it inside the pen, generally speaking on the cooler end, that way the heat doesn't dry it out as fast. And that will allow the gecko to be able to get in, or whatever the animal may be, snake, lizard, or whatever. Allow it to get in there, get into a moist area, absorb some of that moisture, and then they can come back out however they want, and it doesn't create too much humidity inside of your habitat. Now, if you don't like the idea, or you're trying to make your habitat more natural, then something like this right here, you can go with things that are store-bought again, like I said before, such as these rock caves, okay? Now these rock caves were originally made, you can see how I take this apart. You could take and put one piece on one side of the glass, the other piece on the other side of the glass, and it's magnetized, it holds it together. It gives them a cave that they can get into. But these also work wonderfully, the small ones and the bigger ones, work wonderfully for also making a moist hide or moist hide cave. Along with, again, and I'll put these ones back up here, like these right here, which look more like the tropical atmosphere or the forested atmosphere. See, this would fit into the desert theme, such as leopard geckos, so on and so forth, and you do have other options like the ones that we've showed before that would work inside of your tropical theme, your forested theme. Now, some of the ones that we showed before also are like a 3-in-1, okay? They can make a hide, they can make a moist cave, or they can even turn into a water dish. And the water dish, you can either leave that top on, as you've seen, or you can take the top off and it just makes a water dish in and of itself, and your top you can put somewhere else and it makes a cave. So you can have two pieces, you know, you can split that down into two pieces, put it in two parts of your habitat, or you can keep it together and use it for several things. Now, again, the whole point of a moist hide and using something, especially like these more decorative items that would fit into your habitat, is it looks natural. It themes into your ecosystem and into the theme that you have when you set up either a desert or a tropical, like the pictures before, a tropical atmosphere. So the point being, this works for two things. This works, and it works great. You can use anything to make a moist hide out of, anything, as long as it has a lid and it's somewhat enclosed and can keep the moisture in there for a certain extended period of time. These tend to work better. However, remember what I said before, these are plastic. There's nothing hard about this. It's hollow in here and it's hollow in here. I've seen these break apart, crack, or break to pieces several times over the course of years. Okay, so you do have the disadvantage that yes, these are plastic, and so you have to be kind of careful with them. No, they're not, completely fragile. And it just, the least little thing is going to break them, but hard knocks, falling, dropping, things like that, it's going to break them, it's going to crack them, and then it'll be rendered useless. But these work great for your desert habitats when it comes to being able to just pack that moss in there, keep it moist inside of there, and it doesn't humidify the whole habitat. The ones like I showed before, those are awesome for your forested and your tropical habitats. Makes a great hide cave, moist cave, or water dish, however you choose to do that. Okay? Now, hopefully this has been helpful in talking about the key aspects, first and foremost, of just the need for a moist hide and having a moist hide of some form or fashion for some of your species of animals, but also in talking about and showing you different options of things that you can do for moist hide for your habitat, whether something simple or whether something that's a little bit more elaborate that fits in with your decor and theme of your habitat. All right? Now, this is Chad. Hopefully this has been helpful. We are the Reptile Rangers. This is Moist Hides, different concepts of moist hides. We appreciate you following along. Make sure to hit the subscribe, the like, the bell for notification. Make sure to feel free and write in. Let us know of other things you want us to film about. As always, our information will be in the description below for those needing to get in touch with us. We appreciate you following along week after week after week. We'll either see you here at the zoo or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.